Your Excellency, Sir Edmund Lawrence, our Governor General of St. Kitts and Nevis, I'm really not in a position to compete with the Madam Master of Ceremonies and the Minister who spoke before me in terms of going through the entire protocol list. And so I would just like to identify one or two guests who may have escaped the protocol mentioning. And one is Dr. Vance Gilbert, who is a medical officer of health. I see. At the Parkson Medical Center and also District Medical Center officer, I should say, in Old Road to Sandy Point. I want to say a very warm welcome and thank you to everyone who has gathered here today to witness the opening of the new Horizons Rehabilitation Center, a center into which a great deal of thought and planning has been invested, and the center that really reflects this government's commitment to ensure that every child and every young person has a chance in this, the land of his birth. We heard from Permanent Secretary Rattan, or maybe it could have been the minister, I don't know, that it has taken 5 years for this to have been conceived, built, and opened. And as she said that, my good friend Minister Skerrit said, boy, it's a whole term. But I want to emphasize that in every country in the world, there are young people who are confused. In this young, progressive country, the Federation of St. Kitts and Nevis, we, however, are committed to freeing them of this confusion. In every nation, there are children who are angry. And in this nation, we are committed. Government and citizens are committed to replacing this anger with hope. In every nation, there are children who feel lost. Here in St. Kitts and Nevis, we are committed to helping these children find their way, a better way. And because of all of this, we have created the New Horizons. A responsible government functions very much as a visual artist does. In the same way that a skilled artist uses a combination of different lines, hues, and shapes to create visual images that did not exist before, and images that are pleasing as well, so too should responsible governments formulate a range of policies and procedures, the combined effect of which is to improve conditions and to enhance the lives of those who live in the countries in question. This here in this country is a responsible government. New Horizons then is an important component, but just one component of my government's multifaceted approach to social upliftment and community advancement. And we have embraced this multifaceted approach because we want a society that is safe. We want this country's children to to feel secure. We want any young person who, for one reason or another, has developed bad habits and negative attitudes to know and understand that there are ways to break free of these restricting lifestyles, and that New Horizons can help in that regard. And we want young people for whom life has become difficult to have a fair chance to become responsible human beings, free of the fears and the stresses of having no place to live. We wish to free them of the dangers that arise when there are no adults as a constant and constructive presence in their lives. And we wish to correct the fact that some of them may have no understanding of the attitudes and values that are essential to leading stable and constructive lives. This is why, among other things, my government has invested so much time and energy, for example, to introduce programs that would help our children to think of our nation's police officers as approachable and concerned members of society, not simply as individuals who arrest and imprison them. And I want you to imagine how secured, safe, and happy and pleasant I felt when just a few days ago, when I was at home in St. Paul's, seeing a few constituents, there was a knock on my door, and there appeared in the doorway a sergeant of police with 2 constables, and said they were here to say simply hi. They were passing through the village on the streets, hi there, passing through the village of St. Paul's. So my door was open, some people outside came, knocked on the door and said, Mr. Prime Minister, we just wanted to say hi. We are walking through the streets. Give them a round of applause. And that is why the visits of the Commissioner of Police to our nation's schools, for example, have contributed significantly in this regard. That is why also we have made a point of ensuring that parents who are having difficulty meeting the material needs of their children have regular and dependable material support from the Ministries of Social and Community Development. For this too helps to reduce the stress levels with which many families have to live. That is why our healthcare policy has done so much to ensure that our nation's children have access to the dental, ophthalmological, and medical care that is essential if they are to grow into healthy adults. However, we all know that there are times when even all of this is not enough. There are times when the stresses that families face are so severe and the traumas experienced by children are so harsh that there needs to be something more and something different. To be a safe and dedicated space, an environment of concern and guidance, a place where there are properly trained individuals with both the interest in turning the child's life around and the training so to do. This is why our government made a point of ensuring that resources will be available to bring into existence the New Horizons Rehabilitation Center before which we stand today. And I stress the word rehabilitation because rehabilitation is what New Horizons is all about. Horizons is not simply a pleasant place for which children to live as they can in the dawn of the day. They can, in fact, constantly cast their eyes to the very green, lush landscape of Harris's and Sadler's estates, just below the majestic mountain range of Lyamaka. It is not simply a place to keep our children safe from the streets as they relax and gaze into the blue Caribbean waters at the setting of the sun on a daily basis. And it most assuredly does not exist to serve as a quasi-prison. New Horizons was established in order to inculcate those values, the behaviors, the attitudes, and the habits, the outlooks, and the approaches that are key to a safe and constructive life, but which unfortunately some young people need special help in mastering. In addition, New Horizons was established to avoid children under the age of 18 who may have committed various infractions from being housed in facilities in which older, much more experienced, and sometimes hardened criminals are being kept. We don't want them to be kept there. And so to everyone whose hard work and vision resulted in New Horizons now being available to young people in this country, to young people who are in need, I say thank you. I say thanks also to our development partners, the Caribbean Development Bank, which responded so many years ago to our request for a project that can assist St. Kitts and Nevis through the earliest wave of youth restlessness that eventually rose to youth crime and violence, and which eventually saw the emergence of gangs in our country as they are and were in the Caribbean region. We thank the United States government and US aid for, and also I should say our friendly countries who are represented by the resident ambassadors here, who I'm sure will do their part in support of the programs that will be produced here at New Horizons. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have before us this evening is the physical infrastructure that will keep the children who will live here safe from the elements. They are most welcomed here at Harris's, this tiny village nestled between the larger village of Sadler's and the smaller village of Bellevue. Let us give the people of Sadler's, Harris's, and Bellevue a tremendous round of applause for providing a home for these young people who need your care and our attention. What we shall also have here, however, will be highly trained and dedicated personnel drawn from the communities near and far who are committed to turning young lives around. And together, this structure and the personnel that will be assigned here will provide for the children who will live here a very clear and steady path to stable and hopeful futures. Indeed, what this facility will provide is literally new horizons. May God bless. May God guide. May God protect all who will live and work here as they are given a second chance with a new beginning. God bless you. Thank you.